Humans like to think that they have all the power in the world, but when extreme weather strikes, it serves as a reminder of how little we can control. However terrifying it may be, they also show Mother Nature's true and extraordinary powers. From shipwrecking sea storms to record-breaking tornadoes and a fire-nado that will make your blood run cold. Here are the 10 most extreme weather events caught on camera. Number 10. Cold weather causes car to freeze. This car owner left his ride in a parking lot all night without thinking much of it. But the next morning, he discovered how big of a mistake that was when he found his car completely frozen. When the owner returned to get his car, it was completely covered in ice. Waves from Lake Erie splashed against his car in the freezing temperatures, forming all of this ice around the car. They had to come up with a whole plan to free the frozen Mitsubishi Lancer from its icy confinements. A ton of salt and a warm water pressure washer was used to melt the ice around the vehicle. But that wasn't enough to melt all the ice away. Once enough ice had been removed to make the car mobile, they had to carry the car on the back of a truck to an auto shop to have the rest of it defrosted. We think that we could all agree that the moral of the story is to never park too close to one of the Great Lakes in the dead of winter, because you never know what can happen. Number 9. The Southern Ocean Storm. In number 9, we have the Southern Ocean Storm, where a New Zealand military ship collided with ruthless waves in the Southern Ocean. Now, waves in the Southern Ocean can get wild, but these were just on another level. The tides were more than 20 meters high. The HMNZS Wellington of the Royal New Zealand Navy was cruising in the Southern Ocean. The vessel is a patrol ship with a length of 279 feet and a maximum speed of roughly 25 miles per hour. The footage, which is both dramatic and terrifying, shows the naval cruiser washing to the seas as water floods everywhere. The ship was battered by fierce winds, which are said to be going at 65 miles per hour. Storms in the southern seas have the potential to encompass millions of square miles of ocean. On average, one gale is anticipated each week, and storms are dangerously unpredictable because of this.
Before we move on, we've got a speed challenge for you. If you subscribe to Facts Junkie and hit the bell icon in the next 5 seconds, you'll win 10 years of incredible luck. Give it a shot. It actually works.
Number 8. Tuscaloosa Tornado of 2011. Over a decade ago, Alabama was in the midst of one of the worst weather nightmares. The unprecedented tornado outbreak of April 27, 2011 is still regarded by many as one of the worst outbursts of Mother Nature. Over the course of 18 hours, 62 tornadoes ripped through Alabama, causing more than 1,200 miles of devastation. At least 240 people died, with many more injured. Entire towns were wiped out, with some places being hit more than once. It was one of the most severe tornado outbreaks in US history. The event lasted from April 25th to April 28th, but the peak was on April 27. The outbreak occurred on that fateful day in 2011 was broken up into 3 waves, each lasting around 18 hours. There were 2 EF5 monster tornadoes on the same day. The first was the Hackleburg tornado, which reached winds of 210 miles per hour. It had a path of destruction that stretched for more than 132 kilometers. The second had winds estimated higher than 200 miles per hour. There were also a staggering 7, yes you heard that right, 7 EF4s on that day, all of which formed within about 5.5 hours. Number 7. Surprise Siberian Hailstorm. When a sudden hailstorm hit a beach in Siberia in the middle of summer in 2014, beachgoers were forced to search for cover. What started out as a fun day at the beach with smiles and happiness everywhere suddenly turned into utter chaos when massive blocks of ice started to rain down on people out of nowhere. The temperature in Siberia's largest city, Novosibirsk, on the day the hail cloudburst struck was as high as 99 degrees Fahrenheit. The hail caused a sudden 35-degree Fahrenheit temperature decrease, which would have been a welcome change in the 100-degree heat if it hadn't been for, apocalyptic meteorological disaster. The hailstorm started late in the afternoon as strong gusts blew across the sandy beach between 2 bridges spanning the world's 5th longest river. Swimmers scrambled out of the water with their heads covered to avoid the massive hailstones. Heavy gusts blew away towels, beach mats, and personal belongings as hailstones pelted bathers, and the beach the people were forced to shelter themselves under umbrellas and blow up sun loungers. Number 6. Fire-nado. In August of 2018, a fire broke out at the plastic plant in the small town of Woodville, England. Crews arrived on the scene to find not only major damage to the structure, but also a giant fire whirl or tornado right in front of them. The fire shown in the clip was so big that you can't even see all of it. The firefighters who filmed it later released it online, where it was promptly picked up by news organizations all over the world. Fire tornadoes like this one are formed when the thermal vents from the ground rise up, drawing in fire and ash. They begin as a small whirl of wind, which you can see thanks to the smoke, and if the conditions are just right, they'll quickly form into full-blown fire tornadoes. Most often, they're small and don't last long, but they're capable of sucking in debris and combustible gases to fuel themselves. Fire whirls can get extremely hot, reaching temperatures of up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is twice as hot as a typical campfire. Fire whirls are most common during wildfires, therefore seeing one form from a burning building like this is really unusual. Number 5. Giant dust devils in Arizona. This person traveling down an Arizona highway was lucky enough to not only catch a peek of a big and juicy dust devil, but he was also able to pull out his phone and share it with the rest of us. You can thank this guy for being so committed to filming, because he held his course and waited just a little longer before jumping back into his car and making a daring escape just as the dust devil was heading straight for him. Dust devils are tornadoes, but just a little smaller, though they don't have quite the same devastating potential as tornadoes. They are still pretty dangerous, and not to mention the fact that they look like the fiery gates of hell. They are powerful, well-formed, and short-lived whirlwinds that can range in size from small, less than a half meter wide and a few meters tall, to enormous, more than 10 meters wide and 1,000 meters tall. Dust devils are generally harmless, but if they grow large enough, they can endanger both humans and property. Number 4. Multiple waterspouts appear on Thai Island. Waterspouts aren't uncommon in and of themselves, as they've been seen in many different parts of the world, but seeing 4 of them all at once is quite the surprise. A great way to tell when a waterspout is about to happen is that they always start the same way. A dark spot will appear on the water surface. Most waterspouts don't actually suck up water despite what it looks like is happening. The wind just isn't fast enough to suck water up high into the air. Although they're not as powerful as land tornadoes, waterspouts spawned by cyclones can sometimes spin at some very fast speeds. It's entertaining to watch from the shore like these individuals, but if they had been hit in a boat by one of them, things could have turned out very differently. Number 3. Volcanic lightning. When it comes to severe acts of nature, few things compare to volcanoes, which spew ash and lava as well as loud monstrous explosions that shake the ground for miles in all directions. The ash that these explosions expel can linger in the air for days at a time, blocking out the sun and making the day seem like night. However, within these dark clouds, a process known as volcanic lightning can occur, which adds a new level of terror to an already terrifying natural disaster. In March 2015, a man was able to capture the incredibly rare phenomenon in the city of Vina del Mar, California. The sky was pitch black following the eruption of Chile's Valbuco volcano. Yet flashes of light began appearing, and the longer time passed, the more intense the flashes were. At times, the lightning bolts were so intense that they appeared to linger in position for a few seconds before fading. Number 2. Alberta snowstorm. We all know that Canada is a crazy cold country filled with incredibly nice and polite people. But did you know that a blizzard in Canada can dump nearly 30 feet of snow in a single snowfall? And that blizzards in Alberta can bring winds as fast as 19 miles per hour? Reducing visibility to the points where all terrestrial and aerial traffic is halted until the storm passes? The roads become a safety issue, causing dozens of collisions and stranding automobiles and buses in the snow for long periods of time. Walking on the sidewalks becomes impossible with thick shin-deep snow. Imagine waking up to find that when you open your door, there's snow from top to bottom. Now that's some extreme weather. Number 1. Double full circle rainbow. Everyone loves rainbows. They're almost magical. But have you ever seen the elusive double full circle rainbow? They're like the unicorns of the meteorological world. Normal rainbows are hard enough to come by, let alone the double full circle one. You would be extremely lucky to spot one. Alright, what's the most extreme weather situation you've ever been in? Was it one of the events mentioned in today's video? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video.